Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:15. It is Tuesday. It's time for Live from Dave's Office, our weekly webcast, which goes over and talks about all the cool stuff happening at Hamilton. We are so glad you're with us today. Without any further ado, our captain and senior pastor, Dave Edelson.
Hey, welcome, everyone. I want to introduce to you one of my favorite guests, and that is Keith Jewell. And what you may not notice him very often because he's behind the scenes. And Keith, we're excited to have you here today. You and your wife and your two children. They're been a part of Hamilton for quite some time. Tell us a little bit about you, your family, and something that you do at Hamilton that probably not too many people notice.
Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate you having me on this morning. I love Hamilton Church. I love it, love it, love it. I love that people can worship as loud as they want and together in harmony. And it's nothing quite like it. I've been going to Hamilton now for over 15 years.
Oh.
I started running sound my second week there.
Is that right? Your second week there?
Third week. I'm sorry, the third week. I went to training the second week. And we production guys are a unique breed. We're focused on what happens behind the scenes. So when Elijah and Ken and I are out in the booth and we're all huddled up, it's usually because one microphone or one light just isn't perfect. And we have to hustle to get things going and make it look right, because the only thing production can do wrong is interfere with the message. We can't have that. And so our goal is to stay out of God's way.
I like that. And you're the team I always think of is that does not want to be noticed, because if you are noticed, usually it's because something just didn't go right, and you guys are all about perfection, like you said. And you'll, when we get together, sometimes you'll say, well, this wasn't right, that wasn't right. I didn't even notice it. Most people won't, but you guys will. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to do a service effectively at our church, it takes 10 people in production. That includes camera people, lighting people, graphics people, video switcher, audio mixer, a stage manager. And last Sabbath, we pulled it off with 3. And it requires everyone to put themselves in a little bit more. The bigger the team, the lighter the load.
Yeah. So what you're saying is for those who are,
my goal is
that you're looking for volunteers.
I am. The goal is to have it so that you spend 1 week serving and 3 weeks worshiping. And to do that, I need a lot more volunteers. I don't want to rest too heavily on myself or Ken or Elijah or any of the rest of the team and not let them be part of the worship experience.
Right. I like that, where you try to let your team enjoy the worship. I know, Keith, you have been back there week after week. No one will notice, and we appreciate you so much, what you do. It's a thankless job in many ways, but not to me. As your pastor and the staff, we really do appreciate all that you do and your team. And I'm just going to make an appeal right now to all of those who are listening, or someone that be sure and let them know that we are looking for volunteers. Keith would be happy to help train them. They have a great team that can do that. Well, Keith, tell us a little bit about the day in a life when you arrive at the church. What are some of the things that you do?
Well, when we get there Friday, we set up everything for the next day's service. We import the file for the sermon. We coordinate with communications and get the announcements imported and in the right order. We get to hear the band warm up, and there's nothing quite like listening to Josh teach the band how to play as a group. And my greatest joy is I get to hear the band pray together before they start practicing Friday night, and bond and remind each other that they're here to worship, not to perform.
And I'll tell you, I really enjoy Josh and his team. They do such an amazing job. And one of the reasons, folks, is because Keith and his team make them sound so good. I'll listen to um, my voice, and I think, oh man, why would anyone want to listen to this guy's voice? But you guys do make it sound somewhat better. I mean, you can do as much as you can. I think, why would someone want to hear this squirrely guy's voice? And, it's hard to imagine what you sound like until you hear yourself back. But you guys do a great job. Some of the things that you do are never noticed. And tell us a little bit about the particular jobs that you're really needing right now.
Cameramen or women.
Cameramen, women.
Graphics. That's the person who puts the words up on the screen, so
Okay.
the company can know with what to sing next. And a sound engineer and a light engineer. Now, these are a lot more technical, but I'm more than happy to teach someone to do this. It's time consuming to learn, but once you learn it, and I'm going to use him as an example, when Elijah learned the lighting system and he made it his own.
Yeah.
He now is working at a local news station simply based on the experience he gained serving at church.
Right. Yeah. He's working with Channel 12 News right now. And I'll tell you, this looks good on your resume. So if you're a young person, you're looking to get some kind of a job in this field, this would be a great opportunity for you. You have a great team. I know that JJ and Don recently married. They're a great team there too. What do they do?
They do it all, man. They'll go from one up front singing while the others in the back doing graphics. Sometimes they'll both be in the back serving with me, and other times they'll both be up front singing and worshiping and playing the cajon.
Yeah.
I love the energy they bring. It's exciting to see that our church is growing and that people are bringing their talents. I don't know if you had a chance to see their production last week.
Yeah, I was there. That was awesome.
And they just blew my mind how
Absolutely
talented they are.
Yeah, if you missed that, I do believe that it was live stream. You can actually see that. But JJ and John Jocks, they really did an amazing job. It was a lot of members from our church helped be a part of this drama, and it was excellent. Well, so it doesn't matter what age they are. Is that correct?
I need them to be able to hold their focus for at least 45 minutes.
Okay.
Otherwise, they kind of
Right.
walk off. So for example, my son is dying to run camera, but at 8, I think he just needs to wait a little bit longer.
Right. Yeah, a little bit longer. Well, that's good.
On the other end, we have the guy who taught me how to video switch at Hamilton. Just last Sabbath, came up and said, "Keith, I really want to run camera again. I want to get back into it." And that's Ken Starry.
Yeah, awesome.
He flew in World War II and shot film out the back of bombers.
Wow.
And so I couldn't ask for somebody with more experience than that.
That's amazing. Wow. I bet he has some stories to tell.
Oh, he does. He does.
Man. Well, hopefully we won't have any gunfire inside the church when we're running cameras. Well, Keith, I'll tell you, we really do. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. Really appreciate you and your team, that all you do and what you bring. Hal, is there anything you want to ask Keith, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, there's a couple things I want to bring up. Because, excuse me, 5 years ago when I first started coming to Hamilton, one of the first things I did was run a camera. And what I want everyone to understand and know, and Keith, you can address this, is how simple and easy it is to start off by running a camera.
It starts off so easy. You literally zoom in and zoom out, as the director says. Point the camera at Dawn and zoom in, and he'll tell you when you're zoomed in enough or too much. And we walk you through it. After you get a good relationship and got a feel for what we're doing, when he's not having you on screen, you can go find a shot, and your creative juices can flow then. And you can say, "Hey, I found a great shot of the drummer," or I can zoom in on the bass player during the solo, or whatever. Just it lets you be creative as part of the worship experience, especially considering how many people are watching our service from home. That number goes up every week. Even as our church starts to fill back up with social distancing, we're getting more and more people watching from home because it's safe and they can still have the same message and the same worship experience.
That's cool. That's cool. Keith, you mentioned that they will tell the camera person. So are they wearing some kind of in-ears or some kind of a device so that
they have headphones and a microphone? So if they don't understand exactly what's needed, they can say, "Hey, can you say that again for me?" Or which one is Dawn?
Sure. That's neat. Well, the one thing too is we are finding people not just in the in Tennessee and Georgia, but all over this nation are watching. I know people in California and Oregon and Washington and out on the East Coast also, but we have some in Brazil and Romania that watch. And a guy in Brazil named Silas told me that his dream is when he retires, he wants to come and be a part of Hamilton. And he would love to run a camera or something. He told me just whatever is needed. And I think that's really cool. We keep in touch. Silas is his name. And he has a small group that every Sabbath they watch together. And so he's got a small group over in Brazil watching our live stream every Sabbath. And they watch the devotionals and podcasts too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But anything else, Al? You said you had a couple of things.
Yeah, I just, some of the things that the positions that we need covered, have to do with running the lights in the building and with sound. But yeah, actually, camera is something that is really fun and really easy. I mean, I remember one time when we were short on camera people, I grabbed my wife and put her behind the camera, and within 5 minutes, she was an expert. It's fun and it's easy, and it helps you really just feel like a part of the service going on.
And it really does. It lets you see what goes on behind the scenes, because when you're in the camera, you realize, oh, when this happens, I do this, and so you start to learn the stage management, and then that moves you into lights and graphics. And it opens the door so you understand how to better serve the church.
Right. And for some of the other positions that we're talking about here, like for graphics, you need to be able to read, number one, and two, you need to be able to click a mouse.
That's the two things. Yeah. And
in
fact, most people who run graphics sit in the back and sing louder than they do on stage, so they can keep up the tempo of the song. And it's an extra blessing for me because I get stereo then.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
And then I'd say there's lighting, there's sound, there's switching. If you've ever wanted to be a camera director, because you're sitting there as the switcher, you have 4 or 5 cameras and you say, okay, go to camera 2, go to camera 3. And it's just moving a little button that does the switching. But all of this stuff is really fun. It is really, a little bit of training and you're going to be up to speed and ready to go. And nobody needs to feel like, oh, I'm not technically qualified. I have no experience doing that. Nobody has hardly any experience doing that. So it's okay. I mean, Keith can show you what it is you need to do to plug in and be, up to speed.
And I tell you, man, when I first started working production at Hamilton, I had bounced around at other churches, but when they said, Keith, now we need you here next week to run sound. All of a sudden I'm invested in the church. I'm part of the church. I belong. And it's no longer sitting on the bench watching the other people play the game. I'm actually on the field playing. And to me, that's what being a Christian is being on the field playing.
You're a difference maker, not just a consumer. You're making a difference. And I look, one of the things I love what your camera team does is they'll zoom in on maybe someone who's with the vocals, and then they'll go to the drummer or to the electric guitar or the bass. And I love those different angles, those different shots. One of the things too, in time, I'd love to see, maybe even when we get a few more people, but we are getting quite a few in our second service, where we get some congregation shots, people enjoying the music. It might be hard now since we're not singing, but, just the congregation's reaction. Yeah. I noticed that in other venues. I've seen that, and it just really adds an element of the engagement.
And something that I've talked to my team about a lot is the more people we bring into this team, the better our production can be. The better we can split sound off again and have an in-house sound and a streaming sound. We can have a live camera operator moving around, like you said, getting congregation, getting stage shots. But it takes manpower to do this.
Right.
And that's what we need is people who truly want to be invested in the message to join the team.
Exactly.
And I promise you, I won't make them work every Sabbath.
that was what I was going to share. The more people you have, once a month, maybe every other week, and you can work with their schedules. But the more people you have on your team, the less they have to, be there. So
right. And the one thing that we really need to cover, Keith, is if people want to get involved, how do they do that?
There's two ways, and either way is good with me. Susan Hayes Jones is our volunteer coordinator. And so you can contact her through our website.
Very nice.
You can email me directly or call me. My number is 400-5845. My email is kjuhl@epbfi.com. Let me know your interest, and I will get you plugged in. Somehow, some way, we will get you involved in the service.
Make sure of that, huh?
Right. So, I mean, for everyone watching, like I say, just go to the Hamilton website, and there's a button on there that says volunteer. It's right across the top of the menu. Just click on that, click on production, and I guarantee you will get a response. People will reach out and talk to you, and we will get this process going.
Absolutely. Well, Keith, is there anything else that you wanted to share about Hamilton, what you do, or anything that's on your mind?
Well, I'd like to get enough production people that we can have a children's church production team.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a B team.
Mm-hmm.
Because the most important part to me in our church is the children's service.
Nice.
That's the church service my boys go to. And that's why it's so important to me that we have the ability to give Delight and Laura the support they need technically to have a seamless service upstairs as well. Sure. And so we work together. Both production teams are the same team. We just overlap.
Right. Very good. And we're working hard to bring our church back into a position where we can have our young people back. So we're inviting the construction team to work on that part first. We've encouraged them to do that. So that's in the making. Well, just a few little kind of in-house things before we go, people. We're still working on the construction of the church. You'll see that it's kind of blocked off the tower. So they've made that safe. But every Sabbath at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, we have a 45-minute service. Mass required at the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock we encourage, but it is optional. Now, we are talking too, we've had some discussion about doing a 12 o'clock, and we may need to get together as a team and talk about whether or not and how soon we need to do a 12 o'clock, because we've got quite a few people coming to our 11 o'clock service. It's not 11:30, it's 11. Then we do a 12 o'clock, exact same footprint as the first two, 45-minute service. So we'd get out at 1:45 till 1, as we normally would have in our two services. But also, too, want to remind you that tonight, every Tuesday night, we have a dinner that we provide for the community from 6 o'clock to 7:30. And anyway, we would love to have you come out and help. People that are able to help get there around 4:35 to prepare. But if you would like to just help serve, or you'd like to just come and get a meal, too, we serve about 200 meals to the community, and it really is a lot of fun. And we have so many great connections now. We're getting to know our neighbors like we never have before. So that, to me, is huge. Something's happening on the 19th, too. How have we decided on the movie yet?
The voting has been going on, and the movie that you guys have selected is the 2019 live action version of Aladdin.
Aladdin, okay.
Aladdin is going to be our movie for the next movie night.
Aladdin. Well, I like that one. In fact, we had Aladdin on stage a couple weeks ago.
Yes,
and Lorenzo did an amazing job. Maybe we could get him to dress up that night. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 7:45 arrive, and then the movie 8:45 or 8:30, or we.
Yeah, 7:45 and 8:45 will be the times of that. So yeah, and we're gonna have popcorn and candy and other refreshments out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, we had about 250 at the last one. It's going to be a little cooler this time. So everyone, when you come with your chairs and whatnot, bring your blankets and your light jackets, because it's going to be fun. But it's going to be probably the last outdoor movie we do this year. But like I said, we're going to kick off a whole summer series next year of outdoor movies and keep this running.
I love it. My kids, my family enjoyed that. That was one of the funnest things we've done all year. So that was kudos to the team that did that. We really appreciate it. And then, of course, we have our morning devotionals at 8 o'clock every Monday through Thursday. We're closing in on the very last chapter of John. We just covered John 20, then it'll be 21. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go and move all the way close to the end of the New Testament. We're going to cover 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. John now on the Isle of Patmos. In fact, I'm going to show you one day. I have a rock from the island of Patmos that someone gave me. And so this is from when John was there. And then also, too, we have our podcast every Tuesday at 12:15, around there. Am I missing anything, Hal or Keith? I think we covered it all.
I think we have everything lined up. Like I said, dinner tonight.
Yes.
And
what is dinner tonight?
Dinner tonight is chicken fingers and mac and cheese, and I believe broccoli.
All right, chicken finger. I think that's the first, huh?
Yeah, I think that the crew wanted to be able to offer the community something a little bit different, but we're continuing to grow. And folks, you don't understand. We can't do this ministry without you. It's the food donations, it's the showing up to serving, it's just the monetary donations you give. Everything that you guys provide is what's going directly out to the community. We cannot do this without your support. We're so grateful for the way this church has rallied and supported us, but we still need to keep it going and to continue to reach out to our community.
Yeah, there are so many that help, and there are many in the community that just will drive by and say, I'm not here for a meal, I'm here for prayer, or I'm here to give a donation. And this one gentleman, every week, he's been coming and just handing us some money. So we do know they believe in what is being done. Are these chicken fingers from KFC?
No, I don't know where they're from, but I know they're not from KFC. But
I tell everyone, when I was in college, right after college, I was so poor, I'd go to KFC and lick other people's fingers. And I'm a vegetarian. So. Anyway, we're hoping that you are able to come by or just drive by and we have a few families from our church. I know of one lady and her kids, they come by almost every week and say, we really appreciate this. I don't have to cook tonight. So just drive by no questions asked. We just bring you meals. So, and as many as you need. All right. Well, we're so grateful that you tuned in today. And I want to thank our guest, Keith. Just again, we appreciate so much you and your team, what you do at Hamilton. And you have some amazing stories. I love your stories when you do devotionals and you just share, and you have a great family too. Appreciate his wife, by the way, just want to share, she's our finance team chair, and she has been doing an amazing job, especially during this time of COVID. And she's helped us to relook at our budget and has kept us on track. So we really appreciate your wife too.
Thank you.
Let her know. Well, hey, we want to close with prayer. And listen, if you have any questions, be sure and just send us a message. You're welcome to text us or to message us on Facebook and let us know if you have any questions, anything you'd like for us to cover on podcast. We'll be happy to do that. But I'm going to pray for you right now. Father in heaven, I thank you so much for all those who are listening and their larger group of their families, their loved ones. I just pray for them. I pray you'll keep us safe during this COVID time. I want to thank you for our guest, Keith. I want to thank you for Hal, who makes this happen. We just appreciate you, Lord, for bringing us together to talk about you and what you're doing in our community. And I just pray that we will always, always, always remember that time is short and we're here to lift up the name of Christ. In his name we ask. Amen. Hey, thanks for watching today. Hope you have a great day the rest of the week, and may God bless you real good.